So this has been very much on my mind in the last, 5, 7, 8 years, when life has really changed in a lot of ways. Ministry has really changed in a lot of ways. I'm sure your business has really changed in a lot of ways. With the advent of all the technology and all the devices that we're walking around with, and all the opportunity to be with you online like this, right? What does it mean to be a spiritual community in the 21st century? How do we get there? Well, I know what it feels like. I know what that feels like. And when I can let go of the need of figuring out the plan, figuring out every step of the way, figuring out how to get there, all kinds of miraculous things have already started showing up. Not the least of which is that we were already hybridizing our classes before the pandemic, and we had to shift onto fully online. We'd already been doing some of it for 2 years. So we didn't have to start from square one. We got to start from maybe, if it was ABC, we got to start from maybe D, which, wasn't very far, but at least we had already begun to travel down the road. Do you see? But we didn't know what it was going to look like. And we didn't know all the pieces. We have to stop learning. We have to learn how to stop needing to figure out how. And finally, the third thing for me, when I feel like I'm really living in this place, this level of spiritual awareness, is that I have developed an enormous comfort with ambiguity and uncertainty. Shall I say those words again? Ambiguity and uncertainty. Now, I know half the people who are watching this have just either turned it off or run screaming from the room, because we want our spirituality to give us certainty. And we think, well, if I'm spiritually grounded, then I know what I know. Well, I may know spiritual truth, but I often don't have a clue as what it's going to look like in the unfolding process. And there's lots of ways in which something can unfold, right? And we try different things. Some of them work, some of them don't work. We continue to educate ourselves. We learn and grow. And then all of a sudden, there we are. And we stand there and we think, wow, that worked out pretty good. But along the way, there was a lot of uncertainty and ambiguity. And as human beings, we don't like that. We want safety and security, and we want to know. Which is why, point 2, we spend so much time figuring out how it is going to happen. How is this going to happen? And if we can't imagine how it's going to happen, well, then we're not able to use the laws and rely on the principles, because we're not giving it the opportunity to do its work. So the comfort in knowing and trusting that ambiguity and uncertainty are part of the road, part of the path, kind of part of the fun. That's where exploration takes place. That's where possibilities live. That's where miracles happen. That's where the things come into being that are surprising to us, because we're not trying to squash everything into a deliberate set of plans and certainty and this and this and this and this. And because, of course, what happens when we do that, when one thing kind of doesn't work out, we tend to think the whole thing's not going to work out. And we either throw it all over, or we become despairing, or we just become angry and say it doesn't work. Or we say, well, I didn't do it right, so it must be something wrong with me.